I could move it with my shoulder, but it's not worth being crushed by the falling rubble.
I've asked you not to touch anything, Mr. Holmes. That's club property.
Was your clock face near the grandfather, Watson?
It was Holmes. How did you guess?
You know my methods, Doctor. I do not guess. I observe. I deduce. Forbes, were any of your own possessions lost in the blast?
Not that I know of. Have you found something of mine?
I'm not certain. Did the fire brigade uncover or remove any personal items from the room?
They briefly combed through the debris, discovered ashes, wood, splinters, broken bricks.
A simple no would suffice. I'm reasonably familiar with the language. Anything of significance, Watson?
Not that I can see, which isn't much.
I'd like more of what you found, or your skill in finding it.
I wouldn't call it skill, Holmes. It was dumb luck.
Most men's modesty is a sham or an excuse, Doctor. Your modesty becomes you. Watson, do you have a bullseye? It's as dark as a rent collector's heart over here.
I don't have mine, Holmes. Battery's gone. What do you need?
I'd like to shed some light on the situation rather than curse the darkness. Come, Watson, let's carry on.
If we must, Holmes. This is a deuced gloomy place.
These timbers must be hewn.
I'm no lumberjack, Holmes, and we have no saw.
There's more than one way to fell a tree.
I've asked you not to touch anything, Mr. Holmes. That's club property. Mr. Holmes, I've told you, touch nothing.
Watson, might I have a word?
What is it, Holmes?
Do you see a way to dislodge that particular beam without loss of life or limb?
Remove it from a distance, but Forbes will be unhappy if you interfere with that pile.
Then he must be distracted. Watson, I was just thinking of that embalmed armadillo.
Do tell, Holmes.
The military implications are momentous. Impenetrable armor plating, low to the ground. Indefatigable diggers. Perhaps they could be bred larger and taught to fire a cannon. I'll get on to the War Department, shall I? You might analyze the shelves. Was the destruction of the book selective or random, based on Babbage's principle of non-discriminating violent action?
As you say, Holmes.
Excellent, Watson, excellent.
Just a
Here's the little darling, unexpected and therefore most interesting, but an expert would find it even more illuminating. I believe we exhausted the possibilities of this location, Watson.
I hope that you have taken more away from here than I. The fumes are making me woozy.
Brother or no brother, you'll receive a bill for harm to that door. It's club property.
Forbes, who relieves you when you're away from your post?
Always on duty, Mr. Holmes. The members have given me a room of my own.
Don't be obtuse. Surely you have bodily functions to attend to, tea breaks and so on?
I leave for a minute or two during the day. I have my L. Evanses and tea at 4:30, with members' permission.
Did any strangers enter the club in the afternoon?
No one escapes my eye, Mr. Holmes. After the late post, a few guests arrived and left, all perfectly respectable gentlemen.
I'm sure they were, Forbes. Were any of them carrying a valise or a large package, anything of that sort?
Certainly not. The Diogenes don't cater to commercial travellers. I send them packing. I hope you're satisfied.
You'd be the last to know, Forbes. A highly satisfactory foray, Watson. We have not been wasting our time.
I hope you have something to support your assertion. I shouldn't like to have endured that bore's company for nothing.
You'll see at a more convenient moment. You'll note I'm authorized to investigate matters relating to the Diogenes explosion.
It's nothing to me. The inspector has no standing among my charges, the quick or the dead. In any case, this is a solicitation for cooperation, not an order.
Watson, will this influenza become an epidemic?
I don't know, Holmes, but any viral disease poses a serious risk even to the healthy.
In that case, a hospital is no place to be. Let us stay no longer than absolutely necessary. Matron, why is this patient forced to languish in this pestiferous hall?
This hall is scrubbed daily. The patient and his insignificant ailments wait on the convenience of one of our most distinguished physicians.
By the time that worthy arrives, he may be able to add pneumonia or influenza to the man's symptoms.
Tend to your own knitting, Mr. Holmes. We will attend to ours.
Excuse me, sir. What is your ailment?
Stagnation at lungs. I'm weak.
Then why are you languishing in this draughty hall?
They're going to stitch up my head what I bashed when I fainted. So I got to take me chances. But if I get this new influenza, I'm for it.
Sir, how long have you been unattended in this wretched hall?
For bleeding ever, if you'll excuse the expression. No one tells me what's going on. I'm not furniture.
Have you conceived of a perfectly gruesome method for disposing of the brute?
Nothing so permanent, alas, but a diversion might serve us. She can't attend to her patients and her paperwork at once.
Watson, I'm grateful that mischief is part of your makeup. The invalid might assist us. Would you mind if I pushed your gurney to a warmer and more sanitary spot?
As long as I'm on it, I couldn't care less. Any change of scenery would be appreciated.
That patient must be retrieved. I won't forget this. You've earned trouble for yourselves.
Watson, I think we should take this opportunity to explore the bowels of Bart.
I'm with you, Holmes. I wouldn't want to face her alone. Thank you. It never gives me pleasure to deny or ignore your inquiries, Mr. Holmes, but things must be done properly.
Your findings on Sir Hubert, please, Doctor.
The official cause of death was asphyxiation. There is evidence of extensive brain trauma.
And the laceration on his head?
Occurred before death. It is not, however, the source of the brain injury.
Typically precise and pertinent, Doctor.
Flatterer. Now that you've had your way with me, you'll be off to the new ward, just like Dr. Watson. You'll pass from my morgue like snow in April.
Perhaps. But we all must travel this way again. We are all yours in the end, Doctor. Might I examine the body?
Yes, I'll try not to take your request as a criticism of my performance.
Might I see Sir Hubert's clothes?
Help yourself. You know where I keep them.
Can the stench of carbolic be harmful to one's health, Watson?
You're overly sensitive, Holmes. A morgue must be disinfected regularly. I rather enjoy it.
Chacun son goût, as my French relations say. The rankest abattoir can be no worse. The morgue and a dental office have much in common, Watson.
You mean that one ardently hopes to avoid visits to both?
Exactly. One feels fortunate to emerge and vows to repeat the experience only under duress. This brings us a little further along, Watson.
Not for the first time, Holmes. You have lost me. What do you mean?
The manner of Sir Hubert's death is a key.
My friend, perhaps you should rest. You're starting to ramble.
Forgive me. Sir Hubert's death confirms your discovery at the club. The explosion's the important thing.
Your curiosity has overcome your judgment, Mr. Holmes. Please do not investigate matters for which you have no brief.
What can you tell me about the burns on his back, Doctor?
Mostly first degree. His tweed coat is as heavy as a horse blanket.
Have you conclusions about the nature of the fire which killed him?
I suspect a flash fire. Very hot, oxygen-devouring, but its heat was not sustained.
One that could burn convenient fuel, but move too fast to consume heavy furniture, and, forgive me, flesh?
Precisely.
How many cadavers do you process in a given day?
Too many. Please excuse me. I'm up to my elbows in work.
Not a terribly felicitous expression, considering your vocation.
Perhaps, but accurate. Your visit had a point, I suppose, besides to criticize my choice of words.
Excuse me, Doctor, I was rude. Hello, brother. You're keeping well, I hope?
Yes, elephant ears, too inquisitive by her. Imbecilic, treacherous louts. Those fools are playing at what? What? Where are you? Sherlock!
Calm yourself, Mycroft. I'm right here. Tell me why you summoned us to the Diogenes.
No. It's safe. Joburg chaps, first rate, who died but was not born.
That's too obscure. What's safe? My brain isn't everything it might be, Mycroft. Nor is yours, it seems. What is it, Mycroft? What do you have for me? Where do you have it?
Where's the heart? Shush, shush. Here's the secret. Sahara has none. Better than cursing the darkness.
Come again?
I'm so tired. Now I lay me down to sleep.
Mycroft, do you recall Clifford, Ashley, Buckingham, Arlington and Lauderdale?
A clique of intriguers. Are they back? Where?
His incapacity is not permanent. He knows a cabal when he hears it. Now, Watson, the means to probe Mycroft's inner sanctum are in hand. Can you repeat what my brother has said since you've been on duty?
I'm no eavesdropper. He uses mostly big words, and his language has not been of the highest quality. I brushed more than once.
His club's in ruins. He wouldn't risk his office. Home is where the heart is. He must mean he has something at his digs.
I'd rather not get nicked for breaking and entering.
I'll hardly be denied access to my own brother's flat.
Do you imagine a senior minister's portal is more easily penetrable than Mrs. Hudson's door?
As always, Watson, you make an excellent point. I'm armed to do battle with Matron, Doctor. I trust you will support me.
At your service, Holmes. We shall secure Mycroft's effects or die in the attempt.
When Stevenson wrote that there is nothing like a little judicious levity, he might have added, thank heaven. Are you awake, sir? Do you know your name? Sister, I strongly recommend that this patient's vital signs be taken. You may be surprised by the result. Have you made anything of Mycroft's speech, Watson?
No. I wish I'd read Freud's recent work more closely. Or perhaps the neurologists would be more informative. He can talk in symbols and anagrams and riddles, but conventional speech seems impossible. Were we not desperate for information, it would be entirely fascinating.
But as we are desperate, it is aggravating. We must be inventive. Please retrieve my brother's effects, Matron, immediately.
I'll take up your behavior with the director, Mr. Holmes. Your Ruth has violated the essence of hospital policy.
Matron, this receipt is in order. Spare me the lecture and produce the effects.
I note that age has not improved your intractable character.
Allegations of theft or misappropriation would not serve the hospital. I'll sign for the keyring. You may keep the wallet and other items. As a courtesy, Matron, I inform you that we are going inside.
Given your reprehensible behavior, Mr. Holmes, I don't think so.
Were I to inform the director that you left a patient untended for hours and exposed him to a contagious virus, she is sure to take a very dim view of your performance. You have been negligent, Matron, and you have violated your own precious hospital policy.
The patient required no special treatment. He was admitted with a minor head injury.
That's as may be, but his fall resulted from his sickness. He is critically ill with a respiratory ailment. Exposure to flu could kill him. Shall we keep your oversight among ourselves?
Yes.
Please be more careful in future. I'd like to examine Sir Hubert's body again.
As you wish, Mr. Holmes. He's still on the table. You cannot amuse yourself at my patient's expense, Mr. Holmes. Your brief from Lestrade does not cover every corpse in London.